Looks like UI is back and working, so sorry about that. So hello, I'm a button that's working because we have the text mesh. I can change the font. I go to the TMP. Where did I install the font? Right here. So I should be able to here Liberation Songs. So that's the default one. I wonder, why can I use ADV? I should be able to drag it in. Do I need it to be? Oh, does it have to be a different format? Yeah, I might need to import it as a different format, but it's fine. We can use this for now. Font size is here. Scale is the fonts, and we also have the usual wrapping and stuff like that. So you can do stuff like, so for example, if I do like blah, 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 so that wrapping extends over by default. That's here. Wrapping disabled, or we can enable wrapping, so it tries to squish it in. We can overflow, or we can do like different stuff like that. Ellipsis, masking. We can do truncate, so it stops everything that comes out. Like there's a bunch of different stuff we can do, but usually you want to try to get the button text the same size. Very common problem, by the way, for localization, because some words are short in English and longer in another. Here's our justification, so left, right, all that kind of stuff, and then here's the horizontal, vertical justification. All right, what else we got? So this is so far all I have, but under the button, there are things I can do. It's an interactable button. I can make it not interactable, in which case I can't click it. But if it's interactable, it means I can. And I have colors here. So normal color could be this. If I highlight it, it'll be, let's say, green. If I press it, let's make that red. If I select it, let's make that purple. And disable is what I just did. So if I disable it, it should go like that color, like so. Perfect. So let's have a look. And so I hover over it, and then when I click it, it does that. And now it's clicked. Cool? All right, so those are all color sprite. You can also, though, do sprite swaps, for example. So I can change the background sprite. The default sprite is like just like that button shape. But I can also do, let's see if I can find a different sprite. Let's go with that. So when it highlights, it'll change into that character, hopefully. And we see like the stretching because it'll try and fit the image. The other thing we can do is, we can do image types, but we can also do animation. So for example, let me auto-generate animation. It'll save into 6. Save that here. Okay, hopefully, is that that's auto-generated. And then window, animation. So there are all of them. They're auto-generated for me, so I can just go to each one and animate them, right? So let's say I go to highlight it. Let's do, and we can animate this. So we can go, oh, sorry, need to record. So we can do this. We can even change the color. Where is the color here? Let's go to highlight it, and then we can go back to the original. So this should, okay, and then we can do pressed, and press will be, oh, so stupid. I keep forgetting to press the, small, so we should do that. And then selected, let's do just a color change. Let's do the sprite change as well, actually. Oh, record, color change, sprite change. Okay, And then if I press play now, it should do all those things because the animation's auto-generated, the hooks are auto-generated. Cool. Click. Cool. All right. And then if you don't want them to loop, for example, you can go to the animator, and this is where they all are. So you can say like, once it's selected, let's do it so it can't loop to self. Can transition to self? No, so it can't loop. For example, same with press. Let's say we cannot transition to self. Too hard.
Just looking at the.
Oh yeah, we weren't very good at it. I mean, it was like what 7 years ago, like you said. We weren't very good at designing. It was it's too difficult, too many things. That was just a demo, and it wasn't like didn't feel. It was better later, but at that time it was still kind of early. That was for Kickstarter, I think.
Third comment.
Yeah.
Sorry, the second comment is, as far as I know, this is the first time we actually complimented a game.
Really?
They said to.
Because I was really surprised. Because usually he's so shitty about games.
How much you think?
Nothing. I actually don't know how we got him. I think we had at that time there was no TikTok. Like Instagram was like okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like fine. At the time it was YouTube. YouTube was like the place. Streamers.
Yeah.
No Twitch, I think.
No.
Not 8 years ago, right?
Just,
Huh? No, I don't think so. I think it was like YouTube was the place at the time. So we had a list of streamers, and we just like find all their emails, like Twitter, and I guess he was interested. I don't know. We had a press pack, and we sent the press pack to all of them. It was like Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. The whole office just sent emails. It was weird. You have to do that sometimes when you're in indie. That was all recorded. Sorry. All right, so that's the button done. Now we have a bunch of other little canvas stuff. So we got like UI, slider. Oh, sorry. Can move it here, and a slider also has like numbers and stuff. But we have values here, so we can have min value minus 10 to max value 10, and then it starts on like 0. So when I press the game, I can do the slider like so. There are scroll bars, toggles, stuff like that. For all of these though, what's important to know is the button can do this thing, on click. So on click, I can press and I can do a bunch of stuff. I can do on click to a script or on click to an object. So let's say, for example, on click this object, game object, the stuff in the slider, game object. Can I do like is enabled? Let's do a different thing. Let's do the sphere. 3D object sphere. So button, when I click it, the sphere, game object, set active. Okay, let's turn that off. So when I press play, that button should enable that game object. Oh, where did it go? Okay, focused. Is that working? Oh, set active, yes. Sorry. Game object is set active. Yes. Okay, let's try that again. This is here, appears. And then you can also set it so when you press a different button, it closes. Now you can do when you notice like when I drag in that sphere, it's everything inside here. So it's everything to do with the sphere. The game object, transform, mesh filter, blah blah blah. Let's add a little script in the sphere. Create script. Okay, so the sphere is here. We add that script to the sphere, and then I can do functions. So I can do void change color. Cool, and then I can do void enable widget. Okay, so that's done. So this script lives on the sphere. You get like free for a while.
Yeah, but you have to attach it, right?
I think so, yeah. I think I'll pay for it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Huh? Especially for classes, like, you know, I don't have to, because you know when you're coding, you make mistakes and you're like, you need to check the. It's probably going to make me a terrible coder, but whatever. All right, so let's go back to the button. Let's go back to sphere. Instead of game object set active, now you can see I should be able to see sphere behavior right here. Sphere behavior. And because I made those things public void change color, public void enable rigid body, game object sphere behavior, change colors here. I can add another one. Back to sphere again. Sphere behavior. Whereas enable rigid body. So it'll run those functions. It's able to like run functions based on that. Oh, I don't think I have rigid body on sphere actually. No, I have no rigid body. Let's turn off use gravity. So by default, and where is that sphere? I want to see it. Press play, and that button should turn this red and also make it drop. Nope. Huh? Oh, did I? Oh, I pressed the wrong one. Sorry. I meant to turn off use gravity. So it starts, doesn't use gravity, not red, gravity. Cool. And then I wonder, can I change the gravity scale using the slider as well? Let's start the value at 1. So it's going to be 1 gravity scale. And then on the slider, let's grab that sphere again. And let's do a public void. Oh, I can't in 3D. Reduce size actually. I might need to type here using Unity Engine.ui, and then slider value is equal to value. So does that make sense? I am looking for a slider, and then if this is called, it will set the slider value to that slider value. Let's see if this works. I might need to add the slider here. Nope. We're nearly done. We're nearly done. So hopefully now my slider should work. So you can see now it's working. I can adjust the scale using the slider. And that's kind of how you make games that use UI basically. You either use event systems, you use a script that's called from or you use a script that's called from the on value change, and you change a function, or you can just on whatever the item is itself reference that slider. So that was here where I'm referencing that slider value. Okay. Any questions so far? Everything all good? The last thing about UI is hooks. So the button has these hooks, and these hooks show where the button goes from. So for example, if I put it to the top left and assign it like that, no matter how I scale it, it stays the same distance from the top left because I've hooked it there. You also have default hooks, so like top left, so it's always going to stay the same distance from the top left. Hooks for the center, so it's going to stay the same distance from the center, for example. So those are important for the hooks, just to make sure things stay where they need to stay. So this is like a middle one, for example. That's common for a button in the middle. So even if I squish it smaller, it stays in the middle. And if I squish the game smaller, it stays in the middle. And that's useful as well for panels on the side. You can have panels and they're hooked to the right, for example. So if this button was a panel coming out here, then we know that it's always going to stay on the right as a panel. So those are the hooks. Very important.